Life is good.
Yeah.
You gotta love that. Hi, I'm Dennis Gage, and welcome to My Classic Car. Well, this week we're back down in Ocala, Florida to check out a couple more cars from the seemingly limitless collection of Jim and Rick Schmidt. Now, these guys specialize primarily in low-mileage, unrestored, original cars. A lot of them a little bit off the beaten path, a little bit off the mainstream. But today, we're coming right at you with in-your-face muscle cars of the 60s, a fabulous Shelby GT500 68 and a Chevelle SS 396. Man, this takes me back in time. I feel young again. Let's do this thing. Well, Rick, great to see you again, man.
Great seeing you too, Dennis.
Man, you've always got such fun toys to play with. But you know, we play with a lot of, you have a lot of pretty esoteric cars, kind of, you know.
Yeah, we dabble around the fringes.
You do.
You can say that.
You do. But today we're going to do some kind of in-your-face
muscle
60s,
cars.
60s muscle.
You know, NPD, you know, we make our living selling parts for muscle cars, but we're never featured. Maybe we should do something.
Maybe we should do something about it.
So we brought a couple of really cool muscle cars out here, and the first one is a car that's probably closer to my heart in the collection than just about anything that we have.
Well, this has been like in the fam for quite a while, right?
Yes, it has. It got away from us for several years, but my father was able to buy it back in 1991. But yeah, in 1975, my dad spied this car for sale in the classifieds in the Orlando newspaper and bought it for 2,000 bucks. You know, in low mileage, just like a barely used KR Shelby, and that became my mother's daily driver for the next few years after that.
Wait a minute, your mom drove this?
Yeah.
She was like around.
She was the manager of the lingerie department at Moss Brothers at the time.
Well, you gotta look good.
and that's what she drove back and forth to work.
My gosh, it's a 68 Shelby 500KR, king of the road.
Yes. It's the top banana.
So okay, let's talk about the Shelby, the Shelby Mustang. There was a lot of treatments that they did for style and also for functionality.
Yes, this is basically a Cobra Jet Mustang, but with a fully functional ram air hood with louvers that allow heat to escape. It's got an oil air cooler hiding behind the grille. All the transmissions were set up with Ford's drag pack internals, so the car shifts very crisply and strong. You can break the tires loose.
Is it four-wheel discs?
No, it's front discs and rear drums.
Wow, that's
yes,
amazing.
But it came with 15-inch wheels and was basically Ford's heavy-duty comp suspension setup. You had the roll bar and the racing harnesses, and then just all the other trim and features that make it a Shelby. But there's an awful lot going on with it. It's not just a Mustang with scoops.
Now, the scoops here, are these decorative, or do they have any functionality?
By this time, the lower scoops, which used to cool the brakes in the earlier year Shelbys, were just decorative. The top scoops, there's fresh air vents on the inside, so it's just a overly styled way of circulating air in the cabin.
Oh, nice though.
Right.
But you know, you're right about, I mean, the roll bar and everything, that came as part of the package.
Right, yeah, it came with part of the package as well as the harnesses. And I remember when I was a kid, and this was before we had airbags and all these regulations, that once I was buckled in and had that harness on, the harness allowed you a lot of movement as you were a kid because it only engaged if there was a sudden stop or go.
And this is the, that flyaway
steering wheel. You open the door and it flies away so you can get in and out easier, and then you have to have this locked back into position to start the car. There's a whole vacuum switch underneath the dash that makes sure that you're back into position to start
the Cobra insignia on the wooden T-handle.
On the wooden T-handle, you can see on the seat belts in the console, they have Cobra insignias in them. There's Cobras everywhere. So.
Man. And it's, well, I guess they call this what, Highland Green. I always talk about
Green.
The Bullet. It's the Bullet Green from the Steve McQueen movie.
Yes.
Well, I mean, beautiful body style. And this has got, when they relaunched the retro Mustang, a lot of it was based on the 68.
Came up with the proportions of this, yeah. Yeah, it really is a pretty car, and again, the Highland Green just casts all the shadows and makes you appreciate all the nice body.
That's so Shelby, and these are sequential too, right?
Yes.
Right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
And how about the dual tips there?
The dual tips down there, that was specific to the KR. Prior to the KR, which the KR was introduced mid-year. Before that, it was just the GT500 that had a single round tip. with a extra pipe on the inside of it.
I think that looks really cool.
Yeah.
It looks like brand new license plate too. Sunshine
That's
State,
a new old stock Florida 1968
Of course, you
license
guys
plate.
would
Yeah.
have those, wouldn't you? Yeah. So KR is going to have the 428 Cobra Jet.
Cobra Jet engine, yes.
Let's go look at it.
All right.
Boy, and that looks brand new.
We went completely through the car on this last restoration and left no stone unturned, and all the details as accurately as we could possibly research it and
I see all
execute
the
it.
paint, you know,
paint
approvals,
okay,
and
approvals.
you got, you know, your tags and your stickers, and your hoses have all the right stuff. But of course,
all the right colors and paint dabs and everything. We put an awful lot of effort into the engine compartment. It runs like it's fuel injected. We've really got it dialed in.
well, let's take this Mustang out for a run.
Let's do it.
All right. Coming up, we'll go for a spin in a GT500KR Shelby Mustang. But first, we'll take a look at replacement carpet options in the Auto Geek garage.
My Classic Car is brought to you by Grundy Insurance.
Well, hey, in the garage with me today, I got my good buddy, Sam Mamolo. Sammy, how you doing, bud?
Doing great, Dennis. Great to be back with you, pal.
Man, it's been a while. This is just like old times, like back in the day. We used to do this stuff.
We need to do more of it.
We do. Well, let's do it right now.
All right.
Well, you know, a lot of carpet here. I suspect we're going to talk carpet. And you're here to talk about LMC Auto Carpet. Now, when I think of LMC, I think trucks.
Right.
I mean, LMC is trucks.
Everybody knows them. They do a great job with trucks. But LMC now offers a broad range of carpet, you know, from everything from the 40s up through present.
And when you say everything, you mean cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, everything?
Yep, absolutely.
Wow.
And
that's a pretty broad array. I mean, that's a major step out for LMC.
Absolutely, and they got great stuff. It's high quality. You got your loop, you got your cut pile, and depending on what your car had, this carpet comes cut and sewn or molded.
So looking over here, I mean, that looks like a Mustang to me.
Right.
And it's a two-piece front and back, which back in the day they did. Later model cars don't have the two-piece, right?
Right. Up to about 1975, you had front and rear carpet. From 75 on, it's all one piece. And that's an early Mustang. Now, if you had a Mustang convertible, you know the carpet's going to smell, the carpet's going to be dirty. What do you do with it?
All right, well, you can't clean it. You can only clean it so much. And I tell you, like you say, if they get wet and they get that mold odor in it, you will never get that out.
Right. So what you do is you pull it out, you go to LMC Auto Carpet's website, you order up your carpet, and it comes in a variety of colors, you know, all kinds of colors, close to the OEs that you can get, okay? And then in 2 to 3 business days, it arrives, pull your seats out, pop it in.
And all this, you know, this lumping and dipping and all that, that's exactly what your floors and your tunnels do. So this is built to drop right in there, eh?
It's molded right to the shape of the floor of the car in the tunnel. And it has a nice backing on it,
Yeah.
okay? And that backing does a great job, but you can also order it with a heavy-duty rubber backing, which is great for sound control also.
Now, how about, you know, there's also some padding typically for both insulation, sound deadening.
Right.
That goes with this.
The padding's already molded on the bottom of the carpet. It's 100% nylon. It's got a fire retardant in it. So it really does a great job.
Well, now, I got this beautiful carpet here. I'm going to want to preserve that carpet, so I typically run floor mats.
Right.
And I see we got some Stang floor mats there that look really close to that color.
Well,
in fact, they
if
look
you
exactly
order-
that color.
It is exactly that color. If you order your carpet and your floor mats at the same time, they come off the same chunk, okay? So they match perfectly.
So it's not a run-to-run variant.
Exactly. You know, and you look at the mats, these floor mats are awesome. They're just like the OEs, they're all shaped and so on, real high quality.
Nice edging, I like that.
Yeah, all stitched and bound on the edge so they're not gonna fray. And look at that.
Ooh, the nibbed back grips the carpet.
It's locked in, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going up under your gas pedal, up under your brake pedal or anything like that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I got a truck. The truck's got vinyl floor mats.
Well, if you want to go back with the OE, LMC Auto Carpet's got the vinyl. It's a heavy-duty vinyl. Now, this is vacuum formed, so again, it goes around the transmission tunnel, over the ribs and all that stuff. So if you had an original truck that had vinyl, or original vehicle that had vinyl in it, then you
come
can get
back
the
with
vinyl.
that.
Exactly.
Trunk mat?
Trunk mat. Again, that's an early Mustang. And look at the color and the pattern on it, just the way it came from the factory.
Looks stock to me.
Yeah.
So any of these colors and, you know, your logos, you want to customize, you want a bow tie, you can kind of mix and match, do almost anything you want.
You can make a car look brand new, smell brand new. And again, you know, they even on LMC Auto Carpet's website, they have some videos to show you, help you install it. The carpet is actually cut a little bit wider, so you have plenty of room to work, and the padding is not put in the places where the seat anchors and stuff go, so you're not going to rest with it. It's a great way to go.
Absolutely. So you can only clean them up so much, and even if you get them clean, you're still going to have heel wear marks and stuff like that. Just replace it. And do it right with LMC Auto Carpet.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And you see there's no opal mats here.
I don't. We'll have to talk about that. If you want to learn anything more about these great LMC Auto Carpet offerings, log into myclassiccar.com. And yeah, Opal GT. I can see it with the little Opal logo on it.
We're going to work on it this afternoon. All right.
AutoGeek.net. We are car care.
Next, we'll fire up a 68 GT500KR Shelby Mustang. Here we go. These things, the Shelbys, are just such icons of the era. It really, from a Ford standpoint, it was really kind of a marketing thing, wasn't it?
You know, Ford took the extra step of taking, you know, somebody who was heavy into their racing program and fielding teams for them, and Carroll Shelby, and actually promoting and making a legend out of the guy.
A branded vehicle, yeah. Give him a little taillight action there. Really a smooth engine for this much power.
Yeah, as legendary muscle car engines go, the 428 Cobra is really the smooth operator. It really is, you know. When they're really tuned right, these Cobra Jets are mean running cars.
It sings, it just purrs.
But a 428 Cobra Jet, you know, in lightly optioned form was ready to take on anything that Chrysler or Chevy or Oldsmobile had to offer. You know, of course, I'm not saying it was the fastest thing out there, but was it competitive? Absolutely.
I love looking out over the louvered hood and everything. It's also bumped up a bit from the stock hood, isn't it?
Yes, yes, which allows for the large plenum that's under there that collects the air through the two front snouts and then drops it into the air cleaner. That was a one year only deal as far as this hood on the Shelbys.
And what a great restoration on this car.
It's not too often that you can jump into a 428 that's been sitting for 6 months, hit the ignition, and it fires to life instantly.
So before the restoration of this, and you were using it, you know, kind of as a daily driver or pseudo-daily driver, did people really dig seeing a Shelby out and about being used like it's supposed to be used?
Yeah, they assume it's a fake when they see it out being used.
Really?
They just, you know, I think every Shelby owner gets that everywhere they go. Is that a real one? And then you say yes, and then half the people still kind of look at you with one eyebrow raised.
Sure it is. Sure it is. Need parts for your ride? Then check out this week's Classic Car Marketplace.
Need parts for your F-Series truck, Bronco, Classic or Fox Mustang, Camaro, Chevelle El Camino Malibu, GTO, Tempest, Le Mans, or Firebird? Then you need NPD, the nation's leading restoration parts supplier. Call 888-893-FAST for your free catalog or visit nationalpartsdepot.com. For the best in chrome plating, call Paul's Chrome Plating. They'll go that extra mile to achieve flawless show-quality results on all your chrome parts. Paul specializes in chrome plating pot metal as well as steel, aluminum, and plastic parts. Try Paul's Chrome Plating today for all your chroming needs. Call 800-245-8679 or visit us online at paulschrome.com. LMC Auto Carpet offers the largest assortment of auto carpet and floor mats for your car, truck, van, or SUV. Available in original style, color, and material. Carpet and floor mats are cut from the same material, so they match perfectly and are manufactured to fit your floor pan. Shop online today. lmcautocarpet.com.
Still ahead, we'll get back to Ocala, Florida to get a close look at a 67 Chevelle SS convertible. Well, man, I've always loved Mustangs, and particularly Shelbys.
Yeah, yeah.
So much fun. This car, though, this 396 Chevelle was one of its competitors.
It was one of its competitors on the streets. The Shelby was quite a bit more expensive, just being a Shelby.
Sure.
The Chevelles, the reason that one of the reasons they're so popular today is because they were so affordable back, during the day. Chevrolet therefore sold a bunch of them.
There's a lot of them out
and
there.
a lot of them have survived. So.
Well, beautiful car. Now, the Chevelle, been around for a long time. This is a 2-year body style, 66 and 67. Personal preference, but I think this is the prettiest Chevelle ever made.
Yes, yeah, I agree. And that the combination of driveline, color options.
Yeah, like this triple blue, marina blue exterior, blue interior, and blue convertible top. I didn't even know that was an option.
It was rare, but it was an option.
It's just, just amazing. And between the 66 and 67, there's not a heck of a lot of difference. A little bit of trim treatment in front and rear, right? That's about it?
Front and rear are the major differences between 66 and 67. But I think the 67 is the home run of the two.
I do too. And again, personal preference, but it's my fave of the two. Red line tires. But man, the interior. I mean, this has obviously been gone through.
Yes.
Did you guys restore it, or was it?
No, it was this way when we bought it.
What an interesting dash, though. Having your key up, this whole panel that runs
Having
across
all of
the
your
top.
knobs and controls up high really is nice because it's easier to reach. You aren't down there fumbling by your knees trying to read what's down there in the shadows.
Yeah, and then your gauge is set back under that shade, so you're not, you're not getting light over it.
Yeah, it's a very Chevrolet. I think whereas Pontiacs were typically very racy and ornate and a lot of chrome and a lot of activity going on. Chevy really went for clean, almost Art Deco designs in the 60s
it's nice.
that were very functional and very easy to live with.
It really looks nice. And then the 4-speed,
Yeah, with the console, you got to have a console if you got buckets.
And the clock in console.
And I've got my funky little AudioVox FM receiver. It was in the car.
Period correct.
Yeah, and I tend to leave period correct modifications alone if I find them charming and it actually works. I can listen to an FM station when I'm cruising. Not a whole lot to listen on AM anymore.
Now what? Oh, the far left gauge over there. Is that?
That's the tachometer.
Well,
and it covers up the turn signal on the left-hand side of the dashboard. So the way everything's wired is the turn signal is also in the tach.
No kidding. So that it came that way?
Yes.
That's not an add-on.
No.
How interesting. I mean, she's just beautiful. I mean, it's like, again, just like showroom.
Yeah. GM was really, really on top of their game in
really
66 and 7.
So now 396.
350 horsepower.
350 horsepower,
which
so it's
was
the bigger 396.
Which was the option. It was the upgrade from the 325. It was really essentially, because it was the same cylinder heads, it was a more aggressive cam and fitted with a better Holley carburetor.
But still hydraulic lifters.
Yes.
Let's go look at it.
All right.
Oh, now that's real pretty. And boy, is that different than the Shelby.
Yeah, this is the polar opposite of the Shelby, and part of that is due to GM's front suspension design, which eliminates the shock towers that you got.
Yeah, they come in the Mustang. I mean, they're like right up
it's
here.
just so much easier to work on these cars. You've got access to everything. You can just about crawl into the engine bay with the motor and work on it.
But man, she looks just great. And like all your cars, you got all the chalk marks and the tags and the codes and everything.
Lots of
like
attention to detail, and we've got it running out great and the way it ought to. That's a huge priority with us. It's not just getting it all detailed to look pretty,
not just pretty to look at,
but we want it to function like it would have been. That's what I enjoy driving old cars. Is the time warp, is imagining that I'm back in 1967 and
this
the
is how
car's
it
brand
was.
new and I just bought it. Yes, that's what I really enjoy. So, slapping a bunch of modern parts on the cars that takes away from the time warp experience for me.
Well, hey, let's go back in time. Let's take this out for a cruise.
All right.
All right. Nice. Stay close. We're cruising in a Super Sport Chevelle.
My Classic Car has been brought to you by Grundy Insurance.
What an interesting place for the switch.
Easier to reach then.
It is. It's right there. That'd be real nice when it comes to putting the key in. There's a little bit of chatter on the clutch.
Once you're going, you're going.
This color has always been a fave. With that blue top, that blue convertible top.
I love the bright blue interiors.
This is called Marina Blue?
Marina Blue.
Marina Blue.
It's just cheers me up being in these blue interiors.
It's a heavy interior.
Yeah.
This thing just looks really
It's got
different.
a really distinctive look to it.
It just looks different. Doesn't have quite the authoritative rumble that Shelby has.
It doesn't have as deep of a throat as the Shelby. It's a factory exhaust, but it's stainless steel, and stainless steel just always has a different tone to it.
It does.
And I'm not a big, huge fan of it, but
It's a little sharper.
yes, it's a little more hollow sounding. But it runs nice and strong.
She sure does. I mean, there's real positive power all the way through. I like having the speedometer kind of buried under that ledge. There's no glare, it's really clear.
Yep.
Certainly an interesting place for the tack, though. You know,
Yes.
kind of, oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
over
talk
there.
about an afterthought.
We need tack. Boom, over here.
Or maybe it was by design that they kind of wanted to give it that hot rod drag strip, you know, look of an aftermarket tack.
This is another hood that I like looking out over.
Yeah,
It's got some interesting lumps and bumps in it too.
that's a great hood. I prefer the SS hoods that Chevy did to the Cal induction hoods. And by the rate of Cal induction hoods we sell, I know that they're very popular.
They're very popular.
They're very popular.
You find them on everything.
I love the SS hoods with the chrome ornaments. It's a little dressier, I think. So.
There was a lot of Chevelles on the road back in the 60s.
We've been blubbering about how great GM was in the mid-60s, but they were building such a fantastically built and reliable product, and people were buying them.
And
in
good
droves.
looking too.
Yeah.
Good styling.
Yeah, they were very tuned in to what people wanted.
So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring.
Attention, My Classic Car fans. Go online now to check out our latest selection of DVDs. Order the Jay Leno Ultimate Collection Volumes 1 and 2. Join Dennis as he takes you inside Jay's garage for a look at some of the coolest machines you'll ever see.